One of the more fun awards for Drive Car of the Year 2021 is this one, the Best Capable Off-Road Factory SUV. Now, anybody knows you can buy a four-wheel drive and turn it into anything you want and make it capable of doing anything, but these vehicles have to be capable off the showroom floor. Now, as such, we've got three of the best combatants on hand. We've got the Jeep Gladiator. We've been waiting ages for a ute-based Wrangler effectively in Australia. The Ford Ranger Raptor, speaking of dual cabs, this thing is established. We know how good it is. And of course, the other vehicle we've been waiting ages for is the Land Rover Defender. It's finally here in Australia. It looks fantastic. Now, in addition to the off-road testing that the judging team's already done, we're also going to be testing them right here on track. So we'll do the traditional swerve and avoid, the slalom, and of course the 100 to 0 braking test to see how these perform on the sealed stuff, because that's just as important as what they're like off-road. As I said, the judges are going to have a hell of a lot of fun with this one. There is, however, an elephant in the room though. Two of these combatants aren't actually SUVs in the conventional sense, but rather they are dual cabs. If you reckon they'll be popular among Australian four-wheel drive buyers, you'd be right. The Ford Ranger Raptor starts from $77,690 before on-road costs and is the flagship in the Ranger lineup and is significantly different to other Ranger variants. Raptor gets features like adaptive cruise control, parking assist, 17-inch alloy wheels, paddle shifters, front sport seats, and combination leather and suede upholstery. It's also got the excellent 8-inch Sync 3 infotainment system with smartphone mirroring, lane departure warning and traffic sign recognition, and Ranger is powered by a 2-litre twin-turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine which makes 157 kilowatts and 500 newton metres paired to a 10-speed automatic. Thus far, no two Defenders we've tested at Drive have been the same. The entry-level model is the P300 in either 90 or 110 platforms, with pricing starting from $71,500 and $74,500 respectively. In all, there are now 22 variants to choose from. That's right, 22, and that's before you get to the options. On test for Drive Car of the Year, we had the 110 P400S, which gets a 3-litre turbocharged 6-cylinder engine that makes 294 kilowatts and 550 newton metres, mated to an 8-speed automatic and of course full-time four-wheel drive. This model has Terrain Response 3, all-terrain tyres, a rear E-diff, a 10-inch infotainment display with smartphone mirroring, while 2021 Defenders will also get AEB, driver condition monitoring, lane keep assist, a 360-degree camera, traffic sign recognition, and an adaptive speed limiter. The Jeep Gladiator starts from $65,000 neat if you opt for the Sport S model, with the range-topping Rubicon starting from $76,450, both before on-road costs. All Gladiators are powered by a 3.6-litre V6 petrol engine that generates 209 kilowatts and 347 newton metres. The engine is backed by an 8-speed automatic, and equipment including LED headlights, an 8.4-inch infotainment system with smartphone mirroring, digital radio, keyless entry, a 7-inch TFT driver's display, push-button start, and a 9-speaker Alpine audio system are all standard.
This is the Ram 1500 Warlock. I mean, look at it. It is enormous. And it's certainly something that, well, has piqued our interest this year as being the first kind of lifestyle focus from the Ram stable. But in a segment where we've got contenders with some pretty serious off-road hardware, that's where the Ram misses out. Yes, it's got low range. Yes, you can lock it into four-wheel drive, but it's a little bit low. And most importantly, it's running on highway tyres. But if your idea of an off-road SUV is being able to, well, hit dirt roads and basically tow whatever you like, this thing will tow the biggest caravan you can imagine without even breaking a sweat. It's a great car, but sadly, not a top 3 finalist. For buyers looking for an off-road SUV, it's become less about the intent for adventure and more about the hardware that you're packing underneath. Our 3 finalists here are all dealing with some pretty serious mechanical underpinnings. The Land Rover Defender features height adjustable air suspension and it's now in its highest setting. It also has an intelligent terrain response system. You simply dial in the type of surface that you're driving over and the car adjusts not only its height, but its throttle position and traction control settings to make transitioning through the obstacle as easy as possible.
While die-hard enthusiasts have lamented the loss of the Defender's live axles, ladder chassis and coil springs, our testing has shown that this new Defender, with its advanced monocoque aluminium chassis, height adjustable air suspension and clever off-road traction control system, makes it very impressive off-road. Even though our tester was fitted with 20-inch wheels, 18s would have been a lot better, we were able to crawl up some tough and challenging hill climbs with slow, stable control and plenty of ground clearance. When you think about the most capable, standard, unmodified vehicles off-road, this Defender is right at the pointy end of the class.
The Ford Ranger Raptor really changed the game when it was released, featuring a much wider track, remote reservoir, Fox Racing off-road suspension and these BF Goodrich KO2 all-terrain tyres in showroom standard specification. It's basically an off-road racing truck with a warranty.
While much of the press attention around the Ranger Raptor comes from its high-speed off-road performance, it also happens to be a very competent low-speed and technical off-roader as well. The bigger and more aggressive rubber, wider wheel track and high-end off-road focused suspension makes this the most capable iteration of a so-called mainstream four-wheel drive ute, if you can call it that. In one of our previous tests, where two other utes weren't able to climb up a wet and rutted mountain track, running out of both traction and ground clearance, the Raptor was able to recover them and then drive the track itself without assistance multiple times.
Now, if there's one brand that is synonymous with off-road adventuring, it's Jeep. The new Gladiator ute is not only a lifestyle pickup, but it's also a very competent and well-sorted four-wheel drive. You've got multiple locking differentials on this, mud tyres in standard specification, plus, it's a convertible. You can remove the roof panels and even the doors, just in case your adventure with nature wants to get even more back to basics than possible.
The Jeep Gladiator in Rubicon specification has all of the hardcore off-road hardware we love from the Wrangler. It's twin-locked with 32-inch mud terrain tyres, front sway bar disconnect and plenty of steel protection on offer. And although the lower ramp over angle caught us out on one particular challenge, the great clearance and flexi coil suspension makes the Gladiator very potent off-road. The ability to air the tyres right down and use that low crawl ratio made possible through the 4:1 transfer case allows it to slowly crawl through obstacles. And that 3.6 litre petrol V6 offers all the motivation and torque you need to get through tricky situations. Comparing these three very different and unique off-roaders presented some challenges when it came to picking a winner. The Raptor's high-end bypass suspension makes it the weapon of choice for desert crossings and conquering corrugations. The Gladiator is equally unique with unmatched heritage, hardware and potential for modification. The Defender, now reimagined for the modern day, moves the game forward in many respects with huge off-road capability and refinement on offer.
The Land Rover Defender is a standout in this category. The judges really liked the functionality and all of the storage space that the Defender offers. I personally really like that it's got a rugged styling that also feels a bit luxurious. If I really had to pick something out that's negative, I would say that you have to have long arms to reach some vents. Other than that, it's spacious, there's functionality for days, storage for even longer, and it's definitely easy to see how this is a throwback to the Defender of yesteryear. The Ford Ranger Raptor has everything that you'd expect in an off-road SUV, but there are slight touches of luxury, like these seats and all of the touch points have a nice leather finish. I would say that also the dials are nice and bright. I can really see what it's saying. The infotainment system, look, it is a bit more basic, but does have everything you could want. The only thing I would complain about is the lack of storage in the centre console. For someone that you might be going on a trip with family, you would need a bit more than this. The Jeep Gladiator offers a great package for an off-road SUV. The judges really liked the flexibility of being able to remove the roof and the doors, and also the hardcore four-wheel drive accessories in the center console. Where we feel it's a bit lacking is this red detailing on the dash. It's a little bit love it or hate it. As well, the footwell, because it's originally a left-hand drive vehicle, there's not a lot of room.
Not so long ago, the judges would have needed to be a little mad to even take proper four-wheel drives anywhere near a dynamic test track. Not so much anymore. While none of these vehicles are going to put any fear into a Porsche 911 or Audi R8, they are vastly safer and more reassuring than anything that went before them. While their main brief is off-road ability, of course, the judges will be looking at braking, how quickly and sharply they can change direction, as well as what happens to the body when you thread them through the witches' hats at speed. The judges don't expect any of these to perform like sports cars, of course, but more and more, off-roaders are being sold to consumers as family vehicles, and as such, they need to be safe in the real world. The judges noted that the Raptor, with its dedicated all-terrain tyres, was disappointing in the braking test. The Gladiator, despite having a less than ideal safety rating, fared better than you might think. It's big and it's heavy, but it's nowhere near as ungainly as the judges expected. The Defender, with its adjustable suspension, was absolutely the pick on the dynamic loop, as you would expect. Selecting just one winner in this segment is a tough ask. The judges need to consider 3 very different vehicles that all do similar things in very different ways. In that sense, all 3 can be taken a long way off-road, but you can just as easily live with them day to day. The 2 dual cabs have the practicality of load hauling and a large tray, while the Defender delivers a luxury cabin as per the Land Rover brief, with room for 5 adults and awesome off-road ability. Our real-world figures had the 110 P400S sipping 13.6 litres per 100 kilometres with a mix of highway and off-road driving, so it's not as thirsty as you might have thought either. So our best factory off-roader for Drive Car of the Year awards for 2021 probably comes as no surprise. It's this vehicle, the Land Rover Defender. And this was particularly difficult because it really doesn't get much cooler than a Jeep Gladiator. I mean, a Wrangler-based dual cab is cool in anyone's language. And the Ranger Raptor, if you want the best dual cab that you can buy in Australia, it doesn't really get much better than that. That thing rides incredibly well, but this, the Land Rover Defender, is unbelievably impressive off-road, and we expect that from anything with a Land Rover badge. But here on the track, when we've been testing our braking and swerve and avoid and all of those safety things, this is incredibly impressive. You put it in road mode and it's as good as any other SUV, despite the fact it's better off-road. I've said for some time that Land Rover does adjustable air suspension as good, if not better than anyone, and the ride and the way this thing handles, you know, it really hammers that point home. So there's absolutely no doubt that when it comes to really properly capable factory off-roaders, Land Rover Defender is as good as it gets. The new Defender is a worthy winner in this category too. It has to carry the mantle of a legendary nameplate, and plenty of you take issue with that given the styling, but Land Rover knows that rusted-on Defender fans won't be enough to secure the future of the nameplate. Defender needs to appeal to a broader market while still ticking the box of go anywhere, remote area, four-wheel drive capability. Defender truly is a brilliant combination of luxury, poise, quality, drivability, and capability. Don't forget to hit like if you've enjoyed this video, click on subscribe to stay up to date with all of our latest content, and of course head to Drive.com.au for the full review.